We're having homemade spaghetti bolognese tonight for dinner, so I thought I'd run through my recipe. I use in the recipe a pound of beef mince, some tomato puree, some passata, fresh spinach, green or red pepper, it doesn't really matter. I tend to kind of use green for cooking because they're not best to eat kind of on their own. They're not so great in flavour, so I hide them in sauces. Fresh basil, a courgette, or just maybe kind of half of a courgette, a carrot or two, depending on how much they cut into, a couple of sticks of celery, and garlic, and some onions, again, depending on how much these cut into. You don't need to have a huge amount, but they are quite small. Okay, so here's everything now. I've chopped it all. I cut it into really, really tiny pieces. It takes ages to do. I only use kind of half of a pepper. I used 3 stalks of celery because they were quite small. Sorry, excuse the baby. It's playing. I use kind of maybe this much of the courgette, and that caused that much. And I only use 1 onion and 2 cloves of garlic. So the first job is to put your oven on, not the oven, sorry, the hob, which about 6 usually. I get a pound up to my foot now by this boy. You helping? You helping? You doing the cooking? Good boy. Yeah, so first things first, and that is to add your garlic and onion to the oil on the frying pan. Just let that heat up for a while. After 5 or so minutes, the onions are soft, so you can then go ahead and add your minced beef. So the mince is browning away quite nicely now, and this is when I add all of the veggies that I cut up earlier. Just give it a good old mix. Like that, just fry away there for a couple more minutes. Then I add my full carton of passata. It's a 500-gram carton, and then just a squidge or 2 of tomato puree. I've since cut my basil, fresh basil, and I'm just going to add that in. And then add some salt, some pepper, and a handful of dried mixed herbs into this, and give it a swirl out, and then add it as well. Give it all a mix up. It might look a bit runny, but it does thicken up because I leave it to kind of simmer away for about an hour. Maybe longer, depending. The longer the better, really, because all the flavours really come out. And then that's it. I kind of leave it there for, say, just simmering down. Turn it down a bit, I think. Sorry, that's Caden's really noisy toy that he's got. I'll put it on a 3 or 4, I think. So yeah, I just leave that, and then what I'll do is in about half an hour I'll taste it, and if it needs a bit more salt or pepper I'll add it, and also if I kind of think that more herbs are needed, then I'll add those as well. I don't add the spinach until maybe 10 minutes before we serve. I've popped my spaghetti and pasta in the water, and I'll just add my spinach now. Oops. Quite a bit there actually. Hide it in and no one will see it. It really wilts down to kind of nothing anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's quite good to get all the goodness in there.